Hello, my fellow team members. I'm mighty glad to be here today, and I hope that you are too, as we have another opportunity to learn, help others, and create a peace of mind experience for our customers. Today's conversation centers around home insurance, and specifically explaining the home insurance coverages that are on a quote. The scenario would be explaining home insurance in a sales situation with a potential new customer, or a current customer who's buying a house and who we're helping with home insurance. The goals really are to educate our customers. We know that a customer that feels comfortable and knowledgeable is going to ask more questions, and they're going to buy more. And this also gives us an opportunity as we go through this to do some customization with our options. I'm going to start with a high level, and we're going to go into more detailed coverages. We're not going to talk about every single item on the quote, but I think for each of us, knowing how to explain each thing that's on that printed page would be important to do. I've got a call coming in from George here, and he got the quote that I sent him over the email. Hey, George. No, thanks so much. Appreciate that. Yeah, you've got time now to go through that quote that I sent you? Great. Well, let's hit the highlights together. And then there's some options I want you to be able to look at. And in general, I want to let you know that the home insurance policy is a package. And it's there and designed to give you the things that you need. The first thing you'll see on there is the dwelling coverage. And right below that, coverage option ID, increased dwelling coverage. Those two numbers go together in total. And that's the total amount of coverage that you have on the house. Yes, no, in case of fire, storm damage, all those types of things that could happen to a house. Yeah, trees falling on it. Exactly right. Do you have any detached structures, any other structures on the house? Okay, sure. That shed is covered under, you see the next item down there is called dwelling extension. That's for other structures like your fence and your shed. And the policy comes with 10%, as you can see on that amount. Great. Okay, the next thing you'll see on there is personal property. And you'll notice it seems like a lot of coverage there. That number is 75% of the amount of coverage that we have on the dwelling. And that's what comes with the policy. And your personal property is things like your furniture, electronics, clothing, dishes, tools, appliances, things that are inside your house. And those are all covered under that part of the coverage. And I wanted to point out too that both on the house and on your personal property, our policy includes replacement coverage. This is really important because if you have a damaged home or you lose some of your property, if you were to get the value, depreciated value of those items, you wouldn't get much. So we pay to replace those things. And that's a really big deal on our policy. The next thing you'll see on there are two things together. They're called liability and medical payments. And this is if someone gets hurt at your house. So let's say someone got hurt, they're over at your house and just having fun, but they fell down some stairs. The medical payments is there for convenience. That would get paid out for convenience right away for ER visit or something like that. And then if you're liable or responsible for that injury, that's where you have the liability coverage. So those two things kind of go together. And the next thing you see on there is the loss settlement. That's the replacement coverage I mentioned to you. That's also really important. You've got a deductible. As you can see here, the deductible is 0.5% of the amount of coverage that you have on your dwelling. And that totals $1,440 is your deductible. And that applies to any time you might have damage to your property. There's no deductible for the liability or the medical payments part. Does that make sense so far? Oh, good question. What's not covered? Well, there's a few things. Earthquake and flood come to mind fairly quickly. You can buy coverage for earthquake and you can buy coverage for flood, but neither of those are part of this policy. And the other thing I would say is just like maintenance things. You know, let's say you have a leak in your shower and over time it starts to rot out the drywall. That would be more of a maintenance item than, say, an insurance claim. With the insurance, it's more things that are sudden and accidental in nature. Does that make sense? Terrific. Yeah, let's talk about some options that come with the policy and some things that you can add. All right, we're going to cover options in our next video. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this. I encourage you, use parts of it, use all of it, make it your own, and have fun creating more peace.